We're constantly hearing that our global problems, we're talking pandemics, climate change, are just too big, too complex to ever solve. But what if the problem isn't the challenge itself? What if it's the way we're organized to fight it? Today, we're diving into a really interesting new playbook for global cooperation. It's called Global Solutions Networks.
I mean, really think about that for a second. Climate change couldn't care less about our borders, right? And a financial crisis in one country, that can set off a domino effect across the entire globe. Our challenges are totally networked, but our solutions, they're usually not. It feels like we're trying to solve 21st century problems with 20th century institutions. So the real question is, how do we build a playbook that's just as interconnected as the problems we're up against?
Well, the answer might just be something called a Global Solutions Network, or GSN for short. Now, try to forget the old, rigid, top-down ways of doing things. A GSN is more like a global brain trust. It's this dynamic, constantly evolving network that plugs in governments, the sharpest minds in business, and cutting-edge researchers, all laser-focused on a single mission.
So, how do you actually build a global brain trust? I mean, it sounds fantastic in theory, but what's the actual blueprint? Let's peel back the layers and look at the architecture that could make this kind of massive collective action even possible.
Okay, this framework right here is the heart of the GSN. The real magic isn't in any one of these layers, but in how they all talk to each other. The global level, that's like the North Star. It sets the overall strategy. Then the national level acts as the translator, making sure that big strategy actually makes sense in the real world of a specific country. But honestly, the most important stuff happens at the local level. That's where ideas become action. And that legal framework? Well, that's the glue holding the whole thing together, making sure everyone's playing by the same set of rules.
And this is definitely not a one-way command chain. It's a living, breathing system. The real innovation here, the game changer, is that bottom-up feedback loop. So when a small village in Southeast Asia figures out a better way to purify water, that amazing insight doesn't just get stuck in a local report. No way. It flows all the way back up to the top, informing and improving the global strategy for everyone. That's what adaptive governance looks like in action. The system literally learns and evolves from the ground up.
Now, to manage all of this, GSNs use two different kinds of governance. Think of vertical as kind of like staying in your lane. It's for deep expertise in one specific area, say energy. But the real world is messy, you know? A problem like a drought isn't just about water. It's about agriculture, it's about economics, it's about public health. And that's exactly where horizontal governance comes in. It connects the energy experts with the farming experts and the economists, breaking down those silos to attack the problem from every single angle. Okay, I know this all sounds pretty abstract, right? Let's bring it down to earth with a really concrete example. Imagine a GSN designed to fix one of the most universal challenges there is, making governments actually work for their people. This is the whole idea behind the administrative GSN.
Come on, we've all been there. Frustrating bureaucracy, long lines, confusing forms, services that just don't work. The mission of the administrative GSN, or AGSN, is to fix that, but on a global scale. The goal is to create a worldwide network that's all about sharing the best ways to make public services more efficient, more transparent, and way more responsive to the people they're supposed to be serving.
So at the global level, you basically have this dream team of public administration experts. And their job isn't to force a single system on everyone. Not at all. Instead, they figure out and create universal principles for what good, efficient governance even looks like. Then they work with international partners to champion those best practices all around the world.
Then you get to the national level, and this is where the real work of translation starts. This is where those high-level global standards meet the messy reality of a specific country. The national body's entire job is to figure out, okay, how do we implement these great ideas in a way that respects our local laws, our culture, our political realities? This step is absolutely crucial, because what works in Germany might be a total flop in Ghana. And here it is. This is where it all connects back to people's actual daily lives. At the local level, we're talking about the direct delivery of services, better hospitals, more effective schools, government offices where you can actually get help. This is where you see the real-world impact. And, just as important, it's where that vital feedback loop starts, sending data and real insights right back up the chain. Okay, so you've got this incredibly complex, multi-layered structure that spans the entire globe. How in the world do you keep it all connected and running smoothly? You need a seriously powerful engine. And for a GSN, that engine is its digital backbone.
Right at the heart of every single GSN is a powerful global digital platform. And listen, we're not just talking about a fancy website here. This is the core infrastructure that makes everything else work. The real-time data sharing, the instant communication, the resource exchange that lets thousands of experts across the planet work together as if they were in the same room.
So what does this platform actually do? Well, it's a whole suite of tools built for collaboration. You need the latest research? It's right there in the resource library. You want to connect with the water sanitation expert in Brazil? Just look them up in the stakeholder directory. You want to see if a project is actually working, like right now? Check the monitoring dashboards. The whole thing is designed to eliminate the friction that usually grinds global cooperation to a halt.
You know, one of the platform's most powerful functions is how it pools resources. And as you can see, it brings together not just money, but also technology, materials, and maybe most importantly, human knowledge and expertise. When you combine all these different assets in one place, you create this incredible synergy where the whole is so much greater than the sum of its parts. You get an impact that no single organization could ever dream of achieving on its own.
And check this out, one of the coolest features is something they call the marketplace. Now don't think of it like Amazon. It's more like a global bartering system for good. A university in Japan that has a breakthrough in solar panel tech can offer that knowledge, while an NGO in Africa can request funding to actually implement it. It's this dynamic hub for matching needs with resources, anywhere on the planet.
All right, so let's just pull this all together for a second. Global solutions networks are basically a radical rethinking of how we solve massive problems. They create a flexible, adaptive framework that connects high-level global strategy with real-world local action. And the whole thing is supercharged by a central digital platform that allows for collaboration and resource sharing on a scale we've just never seen before.
Which, of course, brings us to the really big question. If we actually had a framework like this, a true playbook for collective global action, where would we even start? Of all the monumental challenges we face, what's the very first one we should tackle? Together. Definitely something to think about.